this all of this configuration. So behind the scene, what it will happen if you carefully see, this is my local system. So how, like after provisioning everything, like cluster and all of those things, you just go and check this cube cd.cube. So here you will get a configuration file automatically get created. Currently, we are not doing like we are not provisioning everything from Terraform or using the manual way. That's why this EKS-CTL will do everything for you from like provisioning, then generating this kube config. So basically, what it is happening here, what is happening is that you are into local system. You're basically sitting in your local system. You are trying to create this EKS cluster. So when you provision all of this cluster, worker node, and everything, so you want to also interact with this Kubernetes master, like do something, deploy something, any application here. So you need to basically require a certificate or configuration file where, with through which you can use. There is a utility called kubectl. You can use this kubectl utility which you need to install. You can use this, and behind the scene, what it will use dot kubeconfig file, configuration file, which will get created when you provision this all of this cluster, and it will use this to basically perform any operation on your Kubernetes cluster which you have provisioned here. So this is the flow. And ctl get no. Let's check this if this got created or not. Hmm. Currently it is not created. It is waiting. So till here, so this I believe we have provided a code base here. This is nothing but your front end code base. I can copy here. Okay, this is a public repo. Document. Let's clone it. FilmCastPro. Let's check this. So we need to first create a Docker file for this. Okay. Okay, this is front-end application. We need to generate a Docker file for this. I believe I have something Docker file already created using same stack. Need to check. Okay, let's create something. Docker file for what is this is React application. Let's take a sample first uh, from somewhere. I believe there is. Okay. Here's your application work directory here, and then npm install. But the first thing is that what we have to do is to test this application to run on local. This is the best practice you need to follow. So npm is the package manager which you can use to run this. Is there any readme like how to run this? Okay, there's no readme. npm run dev, I think. Okay, not working. Okay, there are like data coming from somewhere. Is there any dev here? I believe. Uh, okay. Let's stop this. Like, we'll check with the devs. But theoretically, I have one application with me which I can use to show you guys like how the deployment is getting happened. This, I believe, this is the one. Let me show you. This is nothing but the image already getting created by me. Uh, let's run this thing first locally, then we can deploy. If cluster is kubectl get no. Okay, this is not created yet. Okay, I believe, yeah, okay. The creation got failed here. Okay, let's try. Uh, already exist. Okay, this will take time to provision again. Let me check if we can do. I will share you guys theoretically the thing, how to be deploy things, and we'll continue this thing tomorrow. If this will be covered theory, if this thing get covered. Yes, STS. Mhm. Follow. Okay, let me share another code. Okay, let's say currently their code is not working. I will sync up with their dev. So, but I have, let's say this is nothing but the Nginx application. So I have done nothing but the first whatever application I have provided, I need to create a Docker file for this. But currently it is not running. That's why I'm not making any Docker file for this. I need to sync up with the dev. But let me explain thing like how this thing happen, how deployment happen. So let's say you have any code base or of any programming language. So basically you write a Docker file for that and create a Docker image. Once you create the Docker image, what you do is that you basically push. This is a service called ECR, AWS ECR. You can search from here, Elastic Container Service. You can go here and basically what you have to do first, you have to create a registry. Okay, this is ECR, Elastic Container Registry. This is the one. Currently, there are a lot of registries being created here. This is my account, but here, CR, if you check, this is others account. Or like you can create a new registry like test. Okay, let's test front end, enter. Okay, this is nothing but the repository name. Then you hit this. So now your repository got created here. The another next thing is that you basically need to create a Docker file for this. Currently, let's create a simple another Docker file. Let's first you need to start this Docker. Then let's check Docker images. There are a lot of images are here, but you need to create a fresh image. So I want to create a fresh image for front end. Uh, let's go here. Nginx. There is a version v1. If you check carefully here, a Docker file is here. Here I am doing nothing but basically creating a Docker file for Nginx. Let's show how you create a Docker file, like Docker image, Docker build hyphen T test. Let's create this name only, test front end and version 1. Then dot means the current directory. Also, I need to mention this platform. Uh, okay, currently skip this. So dot means the Docker file is currently basically present here only. So here, if you carefully check Docker PS, Docker images, you will find test front end. This got created. Test front end, test front end v1. This is the tag I have created. And basically you need to, once you created this, you need to upload this to the AWS account, AWS ECR repo. Let's check this AWS SDS. Okay. First, I need to export this. Okay, I am showing this, but I will delete this secret. This is not the best way you share. You show someone, but I will delete this later on. So basically, this is nothing but I am logging into my AWS. But if you do this AWS SDS get caller identity, here you can see you will find a account ID 6628. If I check here 6628, that's how you identify like you are pushing into current like the correct AWS account, then what you have to do, you need to basically log in into this AWS uh, uh, ECR login you need to do. Then if you hit here are all of the steps they have mentioned, like how to log in into ECR. So here you can see login got succeeded. But if you did not export and did not log in into your like AWS account using secret key access key, you will not be able to log in. And this user, my user has permission to log in into this AWS. Then what you have to do is carefully check Docker images. So here, this is my code base, like this is my image. I have to tag this first. So you can come here and go this. So I am here basically tagging front end v1. I want to tag this into this. So if I hit this enter, if you check here, see here, you got a new image. Like this is the similar one, but you need to change the tag because you want to push this to your AWS. Now you can push this. You can just follow this. You can also push some, like here everything got mentioned. Like if you do this, then you will see Docker image will be present here in some time as it is getting pushed from your local. If you check here carefully, look here, the latest. This is the only tag you have given while you have tagged here. So currently, you have pushed your code base to your ECR. Till here, things are clear? Yes, no? Hello.
Yes, Deepak, I am good.
Okay. So, so basically, why we have pushed everything here ECR, because this is nothing but AWS native repository. You can also push this code base to your GitHub, sorry, Docker Hub, but this is nothing but AWS have. This is similar to Docker Hub, but it is present in AWS ECR. So when you provision your EKS cluster, you I want to show you a sample, like how you create a manifest file. This is nothing but a manifest file. Let's discuss this and thing. Uh, so this is deployment file. Let's understand this. Let's say deployment.yml. Okay. Uh, Currently this is not important. Okay, this. Okay, sorry. Let's come here. Okay, this is the code base which I will share. I will simplify this thing very well. Okay, so this is nothing but the deployment. So when you deploy this thing, so this is nothing but a manifest file which you will provide to Kubernetes using how you provide this manifest file. There's nothing you have to do. This manifest I will explain, but you don't have to do anything. But kubectl apply, then you need to pass this deployment file. If you enter, currently Kubernetes is not up and running in my local system, that's why it will show error. But if you do this, you will deploy the image or the application which you have mentioned in your manifest file. This is the only thing you have to do. But the writing this manifest file is very important, like what things you are doing. So there are two, three kind of deploy kinds. Two, three kinds are there. If you carefully see, this is nothing but a deployment. Uh, you are you are making object. This is nothing but a Kubernetes object which you are making deployment. Then, if you carefully see, this is nothing but a spec. You can look everything from Kubernetes documentation, deployment manifest Kubernetes. You can refer Kubernetes official documentation like how to write any deployment. So this is nothing but you can just copy this thing and you can paste this and you can use this thing. Uh, let's say test.yml. You can paste this. This is nothing but very much similar to this deployment code. This is quite complex because there are a lot of things I have done, but this one is very much simple. So let's discuss this. So this is nothing but I am basically mentioning the deployment name and then labels. Labels is nothing but a unique identifier. Not the unique identifier. You just give a name to any application running in your into your Kubernetes cluster. And then you basically here template is nothing but you are defining when your application is running, like what port it will be using and what image will be using. If you carefully see here, here I have done like I have provided image of my the image which is public. In place of this, you will do nothing but if you have to come here and you have to paste this image because you are running you are deploy you currently your image is in ECR and your Kubernetes when you apply this manifest file. Let's go here, copy this, come here, and then let's come here. You need to basically provide this image, and if I deploy this whole stack and I basically if I do this kubectl apply, then pass the deployment file, behind the scene, what will happen is that your Kubernetes cluster will read all of those things and it will figure out like where is which image I want to deploy. So whatever code in it, whatever binary, it might be any Java application, it might be any front-end React application, it might be any Golang application or whatever thing, whatever application. So currently this is nothing but your front end, which will be running. Currently it is not running. I need to debug this. I have to sit with dev team. I think 5,000 some port it was running. So you need to mention that port here. Currently, this test which I have uploaded, it is running on 80 port. That's why I have mentioned port. Every application run on sub port. Then this is nothing but a CPU, like how much CPU and memory your application will require. This is quite complex, but that's how you do. Similarly, this is the very simple manifest file. If you deploy this, your application will get deployed to Kubernetes cluster. That's as simple as that. But from local, if you are deploying, you need to basically make sure that you have generated your kubeconfig file, the folder which I have shown you, and where you will find that kubeconfig. You will find that kubeconfig in your home directory, present working directory, like in Ubuntu system or Linux system, /home/user. Then you can come in your home directory, then /cube, oh sorry, slash cd.cube, come here, then this config file. You can see also this config file. This is nothing but this is generated by AWS EKS. This is older certificate, the older Kubernetes cluster which I have made, and kubectl command which you will use, kubectl apply -f, the fly file which you provide, the application deployment file which you provide. Then there are commands like kubectl get nodes. This will give nothing but this will give nothing but the cluster information. Uh, this thing we can see. in the coming session. But whatever node groups, the I think architecture I have explained you guys. This architecture. So if you do this kubectl get n nodes, it will give worker nodes, all of the worker nodes detail here in the output. Currently, this cluster is not working. That's why it is not showing, but it will show the cluster detail if you do this command. So that's how you deploy any application on Kubernetes cluster. This is the first part. How you use, you will use nothing but the deployment manifest. You will basically provide the labels, and you have to make sure like you are providing the correct image. And if you see carefully here, uh, there is nothing but a tag got created here. This is nothing but the latest. You also, when you are deploying any application, you will be deploying multiple releases of application, multiple versions of any application. So, how in real scenario, in real life, how this thing happen? This will happen nothing but uh, how you do. Let's say you are deploying application with version 1 like this. So this is nothing but you need to apply this manifest file in Kubernetes. So what it will do, it will you so before applying this, you need to make sure that this currently this is latest, but you need to upload your images with the tag this. This will nothing but your first version of your application. So when you deploy the next release, how this thing happen, you will basically increment this. And many organization follow this practice like in a very different way. Like some organization, if they are deploying many minor changes, then they just increase this here. And if it's a quite major change, so there are three dots like in software engineering perspective. You basically, if you are sending some patches, you basically increase the third one. If there is a major patch changes is going on, you basically increase this. And if for simplifying perspective, many organizations what they do, they just increase this. This is nothing but your version of your application image, which you will make sure like which you will tag like what is my release name or what is the version of my application. Some uses this like increment their version, or some few people use the GitHub ID, the first three, four letters of their GitHub commit as their versioning in any application. Like if you check uh, git log, you will find like every whenever you commit in any GitHub, any commit is gone, like there is a unique hash getting created. So few people, how what they do, they will just print 4 or 5 letters of their hash to make identify like unique identifier of their images. So that's how they do. And you change this whenever you want to release a new version. You just increment this and apply. And behind the scene, what Kubernetes will do, Kubernetes will bring down the older application and bring up the new version of any application. That's how this thing happen. So theoretically, all of those things got happen uh, manual way. So is this thing clear? Yes, no.
Um, Deepak, I do have a few questions.
Yeah.
So
Ask,
first
ask.
thing, do we need a jump server or any particular, because you are using your local machine to execute the command, right? So
Yes.
what is the exact scenario on the production level? First thing. The second thing, you are doing it manually, like changes the images name on a manifest file, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
what is the standard practice in the organization or corporate level? So is it a standard practice to edit or modify the manifest file on every production? And the third one is important. If we are on a current live production, okay, and deployment goes went wrong, okay, and if we need to roll back that particular image to the previous version, okay, so do we have to update the manual to update the image manually in that process? So these are the questions.
Okay, let's take it one by one. What was your first question?
So we are using the jump server because you are using the local machine, right? To and you have connected to the AWS account. Then you are trying to push the image to ACR, right? So how it
No,
is happened
currently
in a
I'm not using any jump server. So basically, control plane which I have told, this control plane, my screen is visible.
yes.
This control plane is nothing but where all the API server and all of those things are running here is running somewhere on AWS infrastructure. So this control plane access I don't have. Sorry, your use. So whoever user who provision AWS like AWS EKS cluster, by default that user is the root user of and which have access to this control plane. So whatever command you fire, it will go directly to this control plane. And this control plane, like I am not currently, I am running from my local and directly since my user through which I am applying or I am basically hitting this master plane have the access. That's why it is able to deploy any application to my Kubernetes cluster. I'm not using any control plane as of now.
But what is the standard practice in the organization in a production level? So
The standard practice is no one has this kubeconfig file. Currently, for explanation, I have done to explain you the manual way, like what all things got created behind the scene. All of those ECR repo push and all of those things got created using CI/CD pipeline, which Ayush will cover tomorrow. Like if we directly
using
jump there,
GitHub Action, right?
using GitHub Action, all of those kubeconfig file, secret file, and this secret and access, all of those things, you will not be
Will
used
be
there.
configured
The
in
hard,
a GitHub Action,
hard,
right?
yeah, all of those things are like a hard-coded credential. You will use there is a OIDC provider thing you use, which I wish will cover like how to, what is the best posture, what is
Okay.
the best way you do yeah,
Yes.
behind the scene, but all of those things happen in chunks. All of those things
Got
got
it.
automated. You will not do manual changes of versioning and all of those things. If there is any scenario comes, some people do, but not so frequently. Any release has gone, like all of those things got like provision through CI/CD pipeline.
All right. Because I asked you why, because in a GitHub Action we are using also one of the worker node, right? Uh, and we have basically put the CI/CD onto that, and then the worker node will be responsible for to perform the actions on our CI/CD application. That's why
No,
I
worker road
was
is
little
not
confused. Worker node, as in
work.
what? I'm not exactly getting that word. The machine which we get uh, assigned by the GitHub action to run
Okay,
the
that one. Okay,
runner. Sorry,
runner. Yeah,
runner. Sorry, yeah. Because
yeah,
we can also set up our own runner, right, with our configuration, and we are using
yeah,
that as a jump server, right? So that is the
right.
kind of thing is and yeah. But I understood deeper. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have any doubt? Like this thing I have explained because tomorrow everything will got automated. If you don't got like this thing in manual way, then it will be difficult to understand tomorrow's session. Okay, I believe everyone is clear.
And what if ACR gets full? Like, does is it have any limit? regarding any size?
Mm, like size means the image size.
The image size. The let's assume that we are having the tons of images after few, a couple of months. And is there any kind of limitation over the hinge, since every size can be maybe size of 500 MB, 1 GB of each image, right? So apparently, and we need to store that almost, I think, 10 or 12 latest images, right? So is there any kind of limit in ACR?
No, I don't think there is any limit is there.
Limit, okay.
But you will incur storage cost. So there are cleanup
Yeah,
activities which happens, which you have to do using script and all. This thing happened to optimize like storage cost and all of those things. But
I think that will
the
be
best
part
prac
of cost
the
optimization, right?
yeah, but the best practice is that you build a very smaller image because if you build a very heavier image, the image is very bulky. Then this worker node, this worker node, where this worker node basically what this worker node will do, let's say this is ECR repo and your application images are here. So behind the scene, what it will do, it will pull images from here. So this data transfer cost is also associated. So uh, the lighter your image, the smaller the image, it will boot up very quickly and it will the less data transfer cost you have to pay.
Data transfer cost is also there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is new for me. Okay.
So basically, let's say this is your ECR, no? AWS
Right.
ECR.
Yes.
So if you do if you apply manifest file, this is manifest file, like whatever manifest file we have created. So behind the scene, what will happen? You have applied it to create a application of version one or deploy three instances. So what it will do? It will pull image from here and then apply like deploy images, three images in the worker node. So but you need to pull that image too, na? So few worker
Right.
nodes like there is caching is also associated, but the best practice that you basically make the image is very like very lighter because it boots up very quickly. So this is the best practice.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else have any doubt or
Um,
you can wrap?
just one asked on Deepak and Ayush. In the initial session, you are going to basically provide us the Excel sheet which have the included the roadmap, right? With each task. So can we get that?